So this is the content creation pipeline I spoke about. And you can see here content machine run projects. So it has individual commands for every single stage. So you notice there's a stage plan style, plan characters. It has commands for every single stage, and it has one command that batches everything together. So yeah, first when the pipeline starts, we are using Crea 2 for the image generation. It initializes the project, then it plans the style, and then it plans the characters. For the character planning, it uses the LLM, which is Gemma 4, and then it also uses Modern Book NLP, which comes with its own models bundled, right? I think there's BERT in there. And it's actually helps with planning the scenes. So this is actually part of planning the scenes. So we plan the character first, then we generate the voice, and then in the voice generation process, we actually transcribe the audio so that we can get the timing, the pacing, right? So we know that, okay, at this specific time within the audio sequence, this specific scene starts, and for this specific scene, this is the image we'll be showing for that scene. Okay, so yeah, Modern Book NLP helps with identifying the exact character. So naming 10 quoted dialogue spans, right? Cool. So we continue and we keep going. Then wrote the dialogue. Yeah. So like I was saying, so there are in this one it identified 4 separate characters: Farmer Mybrow, Mybrow's wife, the narrator, and then the fairies. Resolving voices for 4 characters. So yes, we create or we generate a unique voice for each character. So you notice here we are using 11 Labs audio. So what I did was I actually downloaded the voice from 11 Labs. So I went to the 11 Labs website, went through the sample voices, and then downloaded the ones I liked. So you notice that if you actually even just use the names here, you can actually find the exact voices I used. Then we convert so we are basically going to clone that voice. We clone the voice and then we use the voice to generate the actual audio. So all of this is part of the audio generation pipeline. Wrote projects audio. Yeah, so then at the end of it, we have the actual audio. I think this is the total duration of the audio. Either the total duration of the audio or how long it took. I'll have to confirm that. Whisper is done. So like I was saying, Whisper will transcribe, go through transcribe, get the timing of each word and everything like that. Then we continue. So yeah, characters have already been planned. So yes, we plan the scenes now. So we plan the scenes based on the original script and based on the transcription of the audio. So it goes through detailing scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, and there, right? It has the timing for each scene. Then we continue to the title. We plan the title, we plan the description, we plan the thumbnail, right? And the reason we do all this before, so I try to batch it according to stages, according to processes. So once we load a model, that model should complete everything it needs to do before it moves on. But unfortunately, there are certain stages that cannot run before others. For instance, over here, we need to plan the style, we need to plan the characters before we can actually generate the audio. And planning of the characters and all this uses the LLM, Gemma 4. So Gemma 4 needs to load for this to complete. Then we need to unload Gemma 4 and then load Whisper and then load QuenTTS for the actual generation of the voice and transcription of the voice. Then we unload that and then we move on to Gemma again for the actual planning of the scenes and everything like that. Planning of the scenes, the title, the description, and then planning of the thumbnail. Then we are done with Gemma completely. We don't need to use Gemma again. Then we move on to Comfy UI Crea 2. So over here, it's batched, right? So if you check out my video on what I was talking about the node I created, the custom node I created for Comfy UI, and then the batching of the scripts and all, you will see how I was able to achieve this. So what I do here is it's the same philosophy. We load one model at a time, we use that model completely, and then we unload it, and then we move on to the next model. So we don't need to load, unload multiple times within the same pipeline, because the loading and unloading also takes time. Imagine you have to load one model 50 times. That's extra time that you could have skipped. So here we have the I think it's the clip that loads first, right? Yes, it's the clip that loads first, and then it gives us the file, the conditioning file. The clip basically just takes the image prompt and then prepares that. So it gives us the conditioning file. The custom node I have saves can save the conditioning file. So you notice harvested. It's harvesting the conditioning files. Then it moves on to the diffusion stage, which is the slowest stage. For me, it takes 54 seconds per iteration. Well, on average, 60 seconds per iteration. Sometimes even higher, 70 to 80 seconds per iteration. I think the highest I've ever encountered is about 100 seconds per iteration. I'm using Creaturo Turbo. So next, it goes to the phase diffusion stage, and then it creates the latent files. So you notice harvested latent. And then then it moves up. When it's done with that, then it moves on to the vice stage, and then it converts the latent file to the actual image files. So you notice generate all image complete, 54 scenes plus thumbnail, one thumbnail. Then we move on to the assembling of the video. So for the assembling of the video, we use the audio we generated, we use the images we generated, and then we also have captions now. So the captions are generated in the stage where we are transcribing the audio. In the whole generation of the audio stage is one of the stages that runs. We transcribe the audio, and then now in the assembling of the final output.mp4, which is the final video, we are able to use all the pictures, the audio, and then the captions that we generated, and then assemble the audio. So once we are done assembling the audio, there's a specific command here too that we use to upload the video we just completed. So this is the video we just completed. I'll show you that in a second. And then we have the cleanup. Where's the cleanup? Here, right? Cleanup project. So in case you want to use the same folder, which is what I do, because I don't want to create separate folders for all the projects. I mean, I could do that, but then that's just space on my machine running out. So what I do is I reuse the same folder. So I use cleanup project, and then it cleans up all the extra files. So you notice these are all the files that were generated, right? Align timing, audio, captions, characters, clips, description, dialogue, YouTube, JSON, title, thumbnail plan, style brief, and all of. Okay, so yeah, it kept the style. So the style brief is basically, that's the first stage in the process, right? Plan styles. It's basically takes just a short brief, like you can say, oh, I want an anime aesthetic, right? The project should be an anime aesthetic, or it should be a 1990s cartoon aesthetic, whatever. Then the LLM looks at that and then generates a fully comprehensive style for the project using your style brief. Right, so this is the final output we had, and I'm gonna play for you to see.
Brow was one day looking about for a suitable piece of land to convert into a field. He wished to grow corn and yams. He discovered a fine spot close to a great forest, which latter was the home of some fairies. He set to work at once to prepare the field. Having sharpened his great knife, he began to cut down the bushes. No sooner had he touched one than he heard a voice say,
"Who is there cutting down the bushes?"
My brow was too much astonished to answer. The question was repeated. This time the farmer realized that it must be one of the fairies, and so replied,
"I am My Brow, come to prepare a field."
Fortunately for
So as you can see, it's actually working quite well. The pipeline is working quite well now. It's gotten to a place where I am satisfied for now. Until I get more ideas about that I would like to try out. But I am satisfied for now with how it works. You notice the captions were in time, the images for the scenes were in time, on time. The voice was also good, right? The voice was also on time, and it was also good. So it was able to switch the voices according to the characters who were speaking. So that is the pipeline, that's how it works. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.